I did want to touch on, if you're willing.
Sure.
I wanted to touch on the reflection of October 7th as a cautionary tale, not just for Jews, but across the board on the value of the Second Amendment, what those words mean, and how you apply them in order to be ready and prepared. Would you be willing to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Walk us through that then.
Well, in what respect? I mean, okay. in terms of what?
Okay, so for people listening, if they're not paying attention, I'm sure most of them, almost all of them are, but October 7th was A. B, we learned this, and C, you should be applying this in the United States and beyond if you can, certainly for the Second Amendment of the United States, but so to guard against some of these atrocities. That's because we could talk about World War II, and I think that people immediately zoom back into, well, that's history, therefore it doesn't have a significance in the moment. You can't say that at all about what Israel experienced on October 7th. So I would like to see that offered as a framework and a cautionary tale, if you're willing to kind of do that. Does that help?
Yeah, I mean, October 7th was a big wake-up call to Jews around the world. It was a deliberate attack on the sovereignty of Israel, and but because Jews around the world feel a special bond and connection to Israel because it's our homeland, even despite we don't necessarily not all live there. It's the Jewish homeland. So it definitely woke a lot of people up. Now, what I found is October 7th, as many people that woke up post October 7th, there wasn't enough people that woke up. Why? Because it wasn't here. It wasn't on American soil. What woke up Jewish Americans to the Second Amendment was the constant pro-Palestinian, pro-Hamas parades and protests that you saw across the country. That so many people were siding with a terrorist organization that terrified people, and seeing the attacks in New York and other places, Jews being beaten, some of them were killed, businesses being destroyed by these pro-Hamas organization or protests, if you will. That's what really woke a lot of people up, and I think again, it woke a lot of people up, but I don't think it's enough to just wake up, buy a gun, and train with it, right? We need to be vocal. We need to be defending the Second Amendment. We need to be calling out politicians for restricting our gun rights and stripping us of our right to, self-defense. So it's interesting how October 7th was a catalyst that for Jews around the world, but in America, it did wake a lot of people up to the fact that we have a Second Amendment in America and that we have the right to defend ourselves if someone comes to harm us.
Well, I hope that they're gleaning those ideas and those lessons from what we see in recent history, because if the people listening to this, if people watching don't believe that gratuitous harm will be visited on them and people that they know for no other reason than some group or organization doesn't like you, well, I'm sorry, you're just not being very honest with yourself. And I know,
right?
I know, Yehuda, this is a hard thing to wrap your mind around. Why? I don't want to live in a world where I have to carry a gun. Okay, well, that's well-meaning, but that doesn't happen to be true. If you're saying I don't want to live in that world, well, then this world isn't for you. Because the fact of the matter is that there's evil out there. It's lurking. I mean, sin crouches, on a branch and it seeks to leap off onto your back. Pay attention. So the truth of the matter is you have a responsibility to yourself, to your family, to people around you to be prepared and to help them. Right. This isn't about just toting a weapon around. I say it a lot of times on this podcast. If your neighbor's woodpile gets knocked over in the wind or something like that, You can sit there and you can look at it as you walk by every day, Yehuda. You can. Or you could get out and go over there and restack his wood pile. If he sees you out the window, you wave, say, we got it. We're good. Have a great day. That's all you got to do.
Right.
It's the same mindset as carrying a weapon. It is. But the people that can't wrap their mind around that just don't, they're not able to connect those they're not able to link those things. They can't connect those dots. And I think that that's a shame. We're just being helpful. No more, no less. That's truly what this is, and being prepared in order to help. It's no different than having a spare tire that's aired up and ready to go in your vehicle, or being willing to help somebody else with theirs. This is what firearm ownership is. It's the preparedness for something bad that happens, and the willingness